Well, hello and welcome back to Citizen Saturday. The team will be out probably in the next half hour or so, within the next half hour, out on this pitch, training. So you're all going to get to watch them, but also listen to them, because there is a panel. You might wonder what these headsets are. So if you want to know a little bit more about it, stick them in your ears once the team are training, and you'll get to listen to a panel, including a couple of ex-players, talking about today's training and pre-season, the new signings. Keeps it really interesting. So we're going to start with some big-name guests. I mean, obviously, there's a few ex-players, a few legends that are going to be on this stage and outside today. And here's another one. Please, everybody, make some noise for Mr. Manchester City, Mr. Ian Cheeseman! Woo!
I'm not a big-name guest. What are you on about?
Oh, come on. Cheeseman's pretty long. I'd give you that one, Cheesy. Listen, welcome down, Cheesy. Obviously, you're not here just to look pretty and sit on this couch with us. What are you up to today, mate?
Look pretty. Look pretty next to
I'm trying to pick you up.
I'm here later on about 3 o'clock. I'm doing a little section on the stage outside with Gary Owen. And I suppose I'll be talking as much about my return to the airwaves as anything. You two guys already do XS Manchester, and I'm back on XS Manchester next week, 106.1 FM, Forever Blue, and I'll be talking to Gary, who will be starting off as my sidekick. Eventually it's going to be Paul Lake, but he's got other things to do.
You're not allowed to mention the name Paul Lake around me. He's got a restraining order on me.
Right, okay.
He's my number one. He's my number one. He's my Bezzy.
So obviously I've had a little hiatus for a while, and I'm back. So I hope people are going to tune in to that. The other thing is that I did a blog last night, which I put out on my social media, talking about why Manchester City are special. And I guess if I was to ask you two, you'd have your own stories as to why Manchester City are special. And I have my own. And I'm going to ask Gary, and I'm going to ask whoever's around at the time. I think Nicky Weaver might be bobbing in as well, and maybe one or two of the fans as well, as to why Manchester City is special to them. And everybody's got their own story. Everybody has a reason why City is special to them. And it might not just be the obvious things. I mean, we're going to see some fabulous players out here going through the motions of a training session, and they are part of the reason now why it's special. But there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, I've been watching City for 40 years, home and away, and through some not quite as good times, and they were still special then. They've always been special, and they always will be special. So I'll be finding out perhaps a few stories about why is City special to you.
We haven't got long enough, have we? Well, part of it is because of people like you, Cheesy, and people that are all here today, you know, that have been to, 2,000 games that you've been to or something ridiculous like that. You know, the loyalty, the supporters in this club is part of the reason why it's so special for me. So nice to have you back. I think everybody here is so happy to hear that you are here today, this afternoon, and then you're going to be doing your XS Manchester show. Cheesy's on a Tuesday, I'm on a Wednesday, and then when this little guy comes out, Danny's on a Wednesday as well.
Yeah, thanks,
so that's the place to be. Yeah, thanks for standing in there, Danny. Anyway, Cheesy, it's wonderful to have you here today, but we do have a little bit of a surprise for you. Now, Cheesy knows nothing about this, but as we mentioned, 2,000... how many games have you been to?
2031.
Exactly, he knows exactly. Many of those were spent broadcasting in the stadium. So we have a very special gift for you. We're going to invite a very special man on stage to present you with this gift. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the legend himself, Mr. Mike Summerbee!
Woo!
I'll get my own chair, do I?
So,
literally.
Cheesy, does this chair look familiar?
No.
Well, we've got a lovely surprise for you. This is the chair that you did so many of those 2,000 games broadcasting. This is the chair that you sat on. We've taken it up, we've lifted it up, we've mounted it so it's onto an office chair, and we've had the entire first team squad sign it as well. Just as a little bit of an appreciation from all of us to Mr. Manchester City for your extremely long service in being a City fan.
And the man himself, Mr. Mike Summerbee. I mean, Ian, Mike, is somebody that has been associated with the club a long time. Obviously, he's a voice of the fans. He's definitely a face of the fans. What's your thoughts? Some Cheesy up for us.
He's a bit of a nuisance sometimes, but you know, you got to.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. Well, of course it is. You know that. But he's a special person. I've seen him on many trips. One particular trip, were in Poland and he couldn't get back on the plane, and Gary Cook and myself were there, and we found a seat for him on the plane, you know. So he's respected by all the players and by the club. He's done a tremendous job for Manchester City Football Club. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do what he does, but he's a very special person. He knows that. Sometimes I ignore him, but only because, you know, I can't keep kissing him all the time, as he expects me to do, but he's a special person.
He is. And just, Cheesy, we've got to put your thoughts on that, mate. Obviously, you weren't expecting it. What do you make of that?
I'm blown away. I mean, obviously, Mike's one of my heroes, and he's right about that trip in Poland. I think I was doing the long way back via Hungary, via Budapest, and Gary Cook, who I was a big admirer of anyway, and Mike stepped in. There's a story actually around that game which I'll tell people another time. but yeah, I mean, wow. I'm never going to sit on it though, am I? It's just going to sit somewhere. It's never going to have my bum on it, is it? Hey?
Well, thank you so much for being here today. Everybody, you can see Cheesy this afternoon on stage doing his segment, and you can hear him, XS Manchester, on a Tuesday night. We'll keep getting that plug in for that, and I'm on a Wednesday night. So.